Hot off the heels of the battle for the Stepstones, HBO has released a promo video for episode 4. If you're new here, be warned, this is a major spoiler video where I take a deep dive into the book and trailers. And if you haven't seen the trailer yet, I've left a link to it in the description, but please come back, I am so very lonely. Check out this bird's eye view of what I believe to be one of the courtyards in the Red Keep. Look how the tiling matches. The female servants here, the ones with the bonnets, look a lot like those nursemaids we saw in episode 3. All of them carry lanterns, suggesting they're on the lookout for someone, and as the trailer will suggest, that someone is Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra reads an inscription from the cat's paw dagger that seems to be only visible when put under fire. The High Valyrian message reads, "From my blood come the prince that was promised." And here's where things get a little complicated. This could be a reference to the prophecy of the Azor Ahai, which foretold the coming of a hero to deliver the world from darkness. According to Melisandre, this prophecy is 5,000 years old, but the show has introduced King Aegon's prophecy, which he named A Song of Fire and Ice, and that's only about 100 years old. It foretold of a Targaryen ruler on the throne who would lead the fight against the darkness. It's interesting that the wording here refers to a he, a prince, which you think would rule out Arya, who would end up killing the Night King, or Daenerys, who would end up on the throne as this prophesized figure. It just so happens that the word prince in High Valyrian is gender neutral, so it could refer to a male or female. I like to think that this prophesized person is Jon Snow, however it'll be interesting to see how the show tackles both book canon and show canon. Of particular note is the cat's paw dagger, the same weapon that Arya will use to kill the Night King hundreds of years later. In season 7, we see Samwell Tarly reading a book about this dagger that states, "When Aegon the Conqueror forged his 7 kingdoms, he and his descendants would often decorate their blades with dragonglass, feeling a kinship with the stone. Its blade is made of Valyrian steel and hilt that of dragonglass, the only 2 substances known to kill White Walkers." In the season trailers, we've seen Alicent wield this blade and attack Rhaenyra with it. It's a bit difficult to tell what happens in this scene, but my prediction is she takes it off King Viserys, who at this point will be much more sick, and attempts to stab the princess. This may be because one of Rhaenyra's children cut out the eye of one of hers. Rhaenyra seems to be alongside her father here, who is showing her this inscription, further highlighting the blade's importance. Notice at this point Rhaenyra is not wearing that Valyrian steel necklace she received from her uncle in episode 1, yet later in the trailer she is. In the season to come trailer, we get this added voiceover of the king in this scene stating that the quote, "burden of this knowledge is larger than the throne." The hand of the king, Otto Hightower, skulks off to the side of the Great Hall. I'm wondering if this is when Prince Daemon returns from the Stepstones. We'll see someone who could be Otto in this wide shot, plus the servant with the pillow looks to be the same one who gives Viserys his crown during this tense confrontation. Take note of Prince Daemon here, either in the Red Keep or some brothel, his hair notably shorter than when we saw him at the Stepstones. We'll find out that this episode takes place roughly 1 year after the events of episode 3. What I want you to pay attention to is his white shirt. In the season ahead trailer, we see the king hold a dagger to his brother, telling him he's no conqueror, he's a plague. These two seem to be alone here in the Great Hall, and the king vents his frustration now that his brother must be seen as a hero, even though he went against his brother's wishes. There's not much we can pick out here other than Alicent is no longer pregnant. In the year that passed, she would have given birth to her second of 4 children, Helaena. Past the skull of Balerion, you can make out a figure walking in the background. The season ahead trailer has a better shot of this person, and we'll later see a similarly clothed Rhaenyra running through the streets with a shot of a drunk in the background. Combine this with these servants looking for someone, it appears Rhaenyra has slipped out of the Red Keep, not wanting to be noticed. Perhaps it has something to do with her uncle. We'll see him clad in a black cloak. He too looks as though he does not want to be discovered. The king puts on his crown, awaiting the arrival of Daemon, who also wears a crown, that of the Stepstones. In the book, Corlys named him the King of the Narrow Sea, that patch of water separating Westeros from Essos. These would be seas belonging to King Viserys, so each man flaunting their crowns is nothing but a glorified dick-swinging contest. I'm really curious why Rhaenyra is wearing her uncle's necklace here. The last we saw these two interact, it could have led to her death. Perhaps they've made up, or maybe Rhaenyra just wants to piss off her father. Returning to the Great Hall is Daemon holding Craghas hammer, the same one the crab feeder used to nail his victims to driftwood. The Kingsguard have their swords drawn, and we even see Sir Harold Westerling with his blade against the prince's chest. If the show is to follow the book, this scene will end with Daemon bending the knee before the king. What you can't see unless you have the closed captions on is a street performer asking who will be heir, the brother, daughter, or Prince Aegon. Judging by these oddly dressed figures and this magic performer, I wonder if some sort of street festival is happening in town. This magic dude is also interesting because we just don't know if he's using some kind of pyrotechnic or if he's an actual magic user. To me, he looks like some lowly street performer, but who knows. The king tells Rhaenyra that her courtship is at an end. I guess she's had a year to look for someone to marry after her father told her in episode 3 she could have anyone of her choosing. It appears one of these suitors could be a Baratheon. With the Baratheon emblem etched on the wall here, my guess is this is Storm's End, and the man to Rhaenyra's right looks like it may be the Baratheon knight, Bormund, who we saw at the tournament in episode 1. Perhaps one of the reasons Rhaenyra has not chosen a husband is that she's secretly in love with her knight, Sir Criston Cole. In the book it says, quote, "Though many lords and knights sought her favor, the princess had eyes only for Sir Criston Cole, the young champion of the Kingsguard and her constant companion." Things between the king and princess have heated up, and he expresses that she is his political headache. We get this lovely shot. Is it King's Landing or somewhere else? And here we have Queen Alicent holding her baby, Princess Helena. You can see this takes place at King's Landing with the dragon pit visible in the background. And now for the main drama of the episode. Otto approaches the king with some salacious rumors, but knowing Otto just how true these rumors are, we can't be sure. The man is always doing things to further House Hightower, so it would make sense he may create rumors to sully Rhaenyra's reputation in order to get Aegon named as heir. But something does seem to happen here in the shadows, a hand on top of another in an alleyway. Could this be the cloaked Daemon and Rhaenyra? The hand does have a ring on it, and Daemon does wear a ring on that finger. Rhaenyra also slipped out during the night, but we just can't tell. The book portrays two differing events that could be these rumors Otto refers to. One is from Septon Eustace, who writes that Sir Eric Cargill of the Kingsguard caught Daemon and the princess in bed together, with Rhaenyra pleading to her father that she was in love with her uncle and that they should leave together to marry, even though Daemon already has a wife. The show, however, seems to be more aligned with a man by the name of Mushroom's account. Rhaenyra was in love with Sir Criston, and Daemon, upon sensing this, told his niece that he could make Sir Criston, quote, see her as a woman. Rhaenyra would disguise herself as a page boy and meet her uncle at the brothels on the Street of Silk, where she could observe the art of lovemaking. She would, however, save her innocence for Sir Criston as a gift. But upon approaching him and telling him of her love and all that she had learned, he is horrified and spurns her. Remember also that members of the Kingsguard take a vow of celibacy. I'm really interested to see how the writers take the source material and which way they twist it for the purposes of the show. The king asks who is responsible for this gossip, as he will take out their eyes. If it's Otto, that's gotta be one scary threat. A quick shot of the king approaching Daemon in the Great Hall holding his Valyrian longsword Blackfire. Alicent says that it's not in Rhaenyra's nature to be deceitful, although she can't say the same for Daemon, so it does seem these rumors are about Rhaenyra and Daemon. Here we see the princess on a Targaryen ship alongside Sir Criston. I'm really curious when in the episode this takes place, whether it's before or after those vile rumors, because the ship is followed by Daemon's dragon, Caraxes. Rhaenyra doesn't seem to be too concerned here. I think she knows that her uncle won't harm her. But now I turn it over to you. What are these vile rumors about, and just what will go down between Daemon and Rhaenyra, if anything? I want to hear your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and for more bad takes, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember...
Sir Crispin, wasn't it?